Good afternoon. I'm Dana Tyler. Here is your CBS2 afternoon update. And we begin with breaking news. Reports of a shark attack off Fire Island. 2 people were bitten in separate incidents around noon. Police say one victim, a 13-year-old boy, was bitten at Atlantic Beach. A lifeguard who helped him says they found a tooth in the boy's leg. He was able to walk onto a police boat, which took him to the hospital. The other incident occurred at Sailor Haven Beach, about 5 miles away. That girl's father says she saw a fin, but the family didn't notice anything before it happened.
When it's happening, you don't realize it's happening. You know, it's hard to figure it out. But once we realized what it was it's pretty surreal. It really is the only way to describe it.
That girl also was taken to the hospital. Neither child has life-threatening injuries. We're also following breaking news in the gang murder of a 15-year-old in the Bronx. Within the last hour, all 12 suspects were indicted in the stabbing death of Lissandro Jr. Guzman Feliz. Police say the suspect dragged Guzman Feliz out of a bodega last month after targeting him by mistake, and they stabbed him on the street. The victim's mother was in court today and yelled murderers at the suspects. Then she spoke outside the courthouse, calling for justice for Junior.
I need all of you. I want you to come. Please don't leave me alone. I need help and support from everybody. Yep. Everybody come. Justice for Junior, please. I need help. Thank you.
The Bronx District Attorney announced 5 of the suspects were charged with first-degree murder. All 12 were indicted for second-degree murder, manslaughter, and other charges. And the death of Guzman Feliz has prompted officials to create a safe haven zone in the Bronx. Local businesses are working with police to help kids stay safe.
Small businesses do and can provide children a place to hide in the event that there is an event that they find themselves feeling unsafe or their lives are in jeopardy.
Business owners are getting their first day of Safe Haven Zone training with the NYPD at Bronx Community Board 12. New Safe Haven laws are now being proposed in Albany and with the New York City Council. Caught on camera, a young woman groped by a stalker, a stranger who followed her into her elevator. She spoke exclusively with CBS2's Mark Liverman, and she has a warning for others.
Well, it happened in a building in this area right here. That suspect caught on camera. At one point, he looked straight up into the lens. Take a look. Seconds before police say this man assaulted a 28-year-old woman, he looked up at a surveillance camera and smiled.
I just started screaming for help.
We spoke exclusively to the woman he grabbed. She says she didn't know it, but as soon as she got inside her Harlem apartment building near West 138th Street and 7th Avenue, she was being trailed.
He followed me and he held the door and he closed it really slowly, so I didn't know anyone was behind me.
Video shows the woman waiting for an elevator when at the last second, this man followed her on.
He started asking me questions like if I had roommates or if I had a boyfriend. And again, I didn't think anything of it because it was Sunday afternoon. I was just trying to get home.
As soon as the elevator doors opened again, the man grabbed her buttocks.
I turned around and I was just like, what are you doing? And then it started to click then. I've never seen him in this building. I'm like, he probably doesn't live here.
So she started to scream and the man took off down these stairs.
It's very it's scary. Yeah, so he knew exactly what he was going to do.
This woman now speaking to us, hopeful the man gets caught.
I just want to make sure that nobody else gets hurt from this same person.
Take one more look at that suspect. Police say he's about 40 years old, 5'7", with a thin build and short hair. He was last seen wearing a baseball hat with the word YOLO written on it. And so far, police haven't said which direction that man headed in or how he got away. In Harlem, Mark Liverman, CBS 2 News.
An MTA worker is recovering from a gunshot wound after being hit by a stray bullet in the subway. He was off duty on a 3 train in Brooklyn last night when 2 groups of young men got into a fight. Somebody pulled a gun and opened fire. The worker was hit in the arm. The search continues today for the gunman. We had that downpour yesterday, heavy winds, a lot of high winds, heavy rains, and now today, beautiful, like a breeze. Here's CBS 2's John Elliott with forecast.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for dialing us up and checking out the weather. And in the words of Dinah Washington, what a difference a day made. Remember that? You're singing it in your head right now. Yeah. So high pressure is in control. And it was Dinah Washington. Didn't she have the big, she had a big hit with that, didn't she? Yeah. So it is much better today. High pressure is in control. So you see the wind filling in. And we have had some gusty winds. Maybe 15 to 30 mile an hour out of the north and northwest, but it's a dry wind. So even though 86 is not that much cooler than it was yesterday, it feels so much better than yesterday. Now, tomorrow, a little less wind, numbers right around what you'd expect. You don't want to gloat, you don't want to brag, you don't want to boast, because nobody likes that. That's offensive. But we do have some of the best weather in the country tomorrow, and we're going to do a repeat on Friday. Again, no one is going to blame you if you take Friday off. I just checked. They're not going to blame you because the weather is so nice. Now, today, 86, less humid, great. Going to the beach, a caveat, moderate rip current risk in New York. Plus, I always am worried about elevated bacteria levels, so some of the beaches, particularly Jersey Shore, you had those totals at 3 to over 4 inches yesterday. So just watch the signs. Go out there, have fun. More great beach weather, though, tomorrow and Friday. Saturday's not a bad day. Watch for increasing clouds, maybe a shower late. Thunderstorms back in the mix Sunday.
Thank you, John. Well, summer camp is a time when children are away, and parents undoubtedly want to know how their kids are doing at camp. Well, now there is a camp on Long Island that has a new technology that involves facial recognition to help parents make that connection. CBS 2's Tony DeCopel has the story.
At Rolling River Day Camp on Long Island, they're using facial recognition technology to help keep parents connected.
They're very busy in their daily lives, so if they can have a software program that can just send them a text alert when pictures go up about their kid, I think it just makes it more convenient for them, and it makes the overall experience a lot better for them.
The technology used at Rolling River is called Waldo Photos. The software uses an algorithm and a family-provided selfie of a camper. It scans photographs taken at the camp that are uploaded to Waldo. The software then matches those images to the selfie and sends the camp's pictures in text messages to parents.
If not for this, what would you use?
I would scan through hundreds of pictures until I found him.
I think most people's perception when they hear facial recognition is they think, oh my gosh, this company has run facial recognition on me or one of my family members. So now they have this stored somewhere.
Rodney Rice is founder and CEO of Waldo Photos.
All we collect is the reference image to use with the facial recognition and your mobile number and your name. We don't collect your addresses, we don't collect your email, etc.
Wired senior writer Issy Lepowski says there are still risks.
If I'm a parent at one of these camps, I'm going to want to know, how are these photos being stored? Are they encrypted?
Waldo Photos is an entirely voluntary application. You need to opt in if you want to use the service, and CEO Rodney Rice tells us if you don't want to leverage the technology, just don't bother to opt in.
The 12 young soccer players and their coach who were rescued from the cave in Thailand have been released from the hospital, and they are talking about their experience. The team was released this morning after being under close supervision since they were found miraculously last week. Doctors say all 13 people are healthy in body and mind, and cheers greeted them as they walked into a press conference. Through an interpreter, they answered reporters' questions about their 18 days trapped in the cave and the lessons they learned.
But this experience teach me, not to live life, carelessly. We should plan carefully before do anything, because it can actually affect us in the negative and positive way. From now on, I will live my life carefully.
Many of the boys apologized to their parents for going into the cave without telling them. Several also said they want to become professional soccer players or Navy SEALs, such as those who rescued them. There, they also paid tribute to the Navy SEAL who died in the early stages of the rescue. One New York City block is paying great tribute to their mailman, who is retiring after 20 years. CBS 2's John Diaz has the story.
The Upper East Side of Manhattan is getting ready to say goodbye to one of their community staples, their mailman. Mr. Choi has been with the U.S. Postal Service for more than 20 years, but has been dropping off mail to hundreds of apartments here on East 88th Street for about 10 years. Many say he's become a friend to them, and just the other day, he dropped a letter into their mailboxes to let them know he's retiring and to thank them, and explaining to them how each and every single one of them helped him live the American dream since he is an immigrant from Korea. From the Upper East Side, John Diaz, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, John. Happening today, a special anniversary for the piano man, Billy Joel. Tonight he performs his 100th Lifetime show at Madison Square Garden. And to celebrate, the Garden unveiled a permanent tribute with Joel, Governor Cuomo, and others in attendance.
I remember being at the Garden almost 5 years ago when it was announced that we were going to have a residency here. I didn't really understand what that meant at that moment, and I realized later we're like a sports team. We're like the Knicks or the Rangers or Liberty. It was a little overwhelming when I realized, what it really meant.
Billy Joel began his residency at the Garden 4.5 years ago, performing monthly shows. He first performed there 40 years ago, the very first time, in 1978. 90s kids rejoice. The Rugrats gang is coming back to TV screens and to the big screen. Nickelodeon has announced that the popular 90s cartoon is returning to the network with 26 new episodes. Doesn't stop there. Paramount Pictures says a new live-action Rugrats movie will also be in movie theaters in 2020. No word yet on when the episodes will appear on TV, but the original creators are said to be on board as executive producers. That's your CBS 2 update. Stay with us at cbsnewyork.com. Also, follow us on Twitter and Facebook at CBS New York. I'll see you later today on television. CBS 2 News at 6. I'm Dana Tyler. Have a wonderful afternoon.